way he leaps off of rooftops and flips backwards to face the camera before falling into a headfirst dive is just full of the exaggerated swagger of a black teen. It gives me goosebumps every time he does it.
Really had to harp on that point with the chills up your spine. That wasn't weird at all. That was totally normal thing to throw in there. We're all judging you. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So yesterday, IGN decided to put out another moral grandstand article to prove to pretty much everyone how cool and righteous they are compared to you. So yeah, this is gonna be like one of those videos where I'm gonna lay into someone, I'm gonna lay into a couple people, I'm gonna give some call outs. It's gonna be some real positivity. It's gonna be fun. I really don't care what half these people have to say. I find it very unlikely from a small channel like mine that anyone's going to try and clap back. But if you do, please come with some heat. If you're going to, not some like stupid baby garbage, like, well, you're just an insert phobic at the end of this, right? Don't hit me with that. Come on. Be an adult. You gotta, if you're gonna come at me with like some evidence, something to quote, something that's not stupid or obviously pushing a political agenda, because we're talking about video games here. These are video games. Anyway, yeah. I mean, when you're in the prestigious art of games journalism, I mean, why not shove the first thought to come out of your dysfunctional frontal lobe out onto a piece of paper and then type it up and say that it's obviously not, pushing any agendas or politically biased in any way, shape, or form. Just as long as you're not disagreeing with me, then we're all good. But if you are, you're an awful person. You're a terrible human being. There could be nothing wrong with my takes whatsoever. Just saying. Be like the greats, like Alyssa Mercanti. Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know how to pronounce her name. Yeah, you can't be racist to white people, whatever the hell that means. And then, what's his name? Quantum TVs or some shit, like something like that. Remember his Elden Ring review? The dude who reviews TVs did a Elden Ring review. Remember that guy?
So as you guys know, I did a review on Elden Ring. That didn't go very well, apparently, for some people.
So of course the article begins with pretty obvious praise for the remakes up until Resident Evil 4. And I'm gonna be honest, I haven't put a lot of time into the more newer Resident Evil games. I've just been super busy with my life, and then I get off track with something that I just intend to enjoy more, but I can appreciate the value that exists in these newer Resident Evil games. They're pretty solid. They're not bad. I mean, it's got just the right balance of more tactical gameplay and enough action to keep you, engaged, puzzle solving. It balances all of that pretty well. It doesn't do anything overtly revolutionary, but there's nothing that's really like it at the moment. So, I mean, it stands on its own pretty solidly. But then it moves on and boils Resident Evil 5 down, the original, to an arcade shooter, relegating its enemies to nothing more than, quote, a wall of meat. Whatever the hell that means, because, I mean, this directly contradicts their own article and the very popular opinion from 2012 that Resident Evil 5 was the shit. Like, that was cool as fuck. You couldn't get any cooler than that. I mean, was it a little action movie-esque? Yeah, but I mean, it was also 2012. That shit was cool. That shit was the dude punched a fucking boulder. Come on, is that not the coolest shit ever? He punched a fucking boulder. Like I said, it contradicts their own article from 2012 where they gave it a 9 out of 10 right here. And of course, in 2012, we also had some like smooth brains in there with some real brain rot. Essentially calling the game fucking racist because of the setting. Now, if you've ever played Resident Evil 5, or any Resident Evil game for that matter, you would know that is complete and utter bullshit. You could smell that from a mile away, that it's just like you're reaching so hard. And if someone were to theoretically say that to your face, you might get a little offended. Offended by what? Maybe the idea that someone would look you in the face with full confidence and tell you such bullshit. And you just kind of like step back and you're like, this motherfucker is the dumbest human being I've ever met in my life. And you wouldn't be wrong. Probably because Resident Evil, all the games have been on settings all across the globe. Literally, one of them was in Antarctica, dog. Like, what? Are you... Just because one of them, the one that was in a fictional West Africa, you know, that's where we start drawing the line. If I'm gonna be honest with you, that doesn't make any sense. Where's the same energy for literally every other race of human being that is infected in this fucking game? Because there are 100% black people in Resident Evil 2 who get turned into zombies, right? Everyone's fucking getting hit with the shit. That virus has hands rated E for everyone. Everyone's going down, right? It doesn't fucking matter. And the complaint here is that it portrays them in a manner that is inhuman and savage. What the fuck happened to Resident Evil 4? What are you talking about? What about that? The Spanish Village. What about that one? Huh? The one set in Spain? Is that not portraying anyone in a bad way? What? Where's the same energy? Because I'm not seeing it in this article anywhere. I mean, this alone, you clearly see up at the top here, I've typed in 4 to find Resident Evil 4, right? So when we get to this point where they essentially say, but all of this doesn't account for Resident Evil 5's notorious problem, racism. I mean, going into this, I'm not seeing anything about 4 here. Well, what's the deal? Or 2 or 3. There's no account for it. Essentially, just because they're really trying to, you can tell they're essentially trying to virtue signal. They're really trying here. Specifically with this part, referencing a post-Black Lives Matter world, there is only one acceptable response to a white man shooting waves of Africans for an entire video game. No. I feel like bringing attention to this and really harping on it is doing nothing, and it's actually having the adverse effect. You seem to be focusing a lot on race here, specifically with African Americans. You seem to be giving me the vibe seeing them is like exactly how you're identifying that person. That's all you're going based off of. Because you're coming to me and you're not essentially saying that I care about all individuals equally. You're coming to me and say the way I evaluate individuals is not intellectually, it's from just how they are presented in front of me, how they look. And I mean, you can't get any more blatant than this. This is the dumbest shit I've ever... Look at it. You're probably reading along with this. You don't have to. I'll link the article down below so you're not just staring at my screen while I'm talking and distracting you. But trying to, poise these people in this village to be essentially they're being portrayed as they're violent and uncivilized. And where's the violence and uncivilized manner of literally every other fucking zombie in the game? You're shooting zombies. They're not real, right? They're zombies. The game isn't specifically picking one region and one section of people out, right? If that were the case, it would be a little weird. They would need to explain that more, and they would need to have a reason for that, right? It would still be weird though. It'd still give us a little weird. This isn't the case. This is a fucking zombie virus we're talking. We're shooting zombies. Like it's not that big a deal, bro. You're harping way too much on this, and then trying to essentially make yourself to be the good guy and be like, hey, you guys might want to rewrite this because it's kind of racist. It's kind of you guys are racist if you don't rewrite this one. Yeah, I mean, you're not paying attention to current events. But I am. I'm paying attention to current events. This is the shit I'm talking about when I mean like politics being shoved into video games, because we see it quite often. And with the Sweet Baby Inc. video is a perfect example of bullshit being put into something and half-assing it as a result, because all we're harping on is representation rather than an intellectual conversation in a forum that's not a video game, because we play video games to escape reality. We don't play video games to, in sense, fucking Jaden Smith it and be like, actually, do you guys want to talk about the geopolitical state of the world or some shit? Like some nerd shit like that. Shut the fuck up. No, I don't. They're fucking zombies. And like I said before, they're not choosing one group of people to be infected solely, and there's no racial remarks, right? There's never been any in these games. If you can find one, please feel free to show me, because I have played these games. I will admit, not a lot recently, but I can 100% tell you if someone said some racist shit, and that was the main story, like the protagonist is saying racist shit, the side characters are saying racist shit, the story is full of racist shit, that'd be a little, we'd have a little different conversation. We're not having that conversation. You're reaching for shit and making problems that don't exist, right? The real world problems do not need to be shoved into everything. They don't. And I get that I'm not the only one saying this, and you could just chalk me up to parroting the popular opinion or parroting insert group of people's opinion. No, we're not gonna do that. And don't try to claim that I swing one way or the other politically, because I think relegating myself to a political system based off of one, and I count them, one situation I stand on, which is politics in video games, and calling an idiot out when I see one, I think categorizing someone on such a broad topic such as politics is even fucking dumber than anything else I've talked about here. So yeah, that's been me talking about actual brain rot from IGN, and probably more to come from Twitter if I'm being completely honest, because seeing some of the replies made me a little nervous for the general, I'd say, consensus of people. But I know that, I mean, Twitter is just a place for the vocal minority to say stupid shit and get replies and, the bait engagement, that kind of thing. So anyway, subscribe, stick around. I got plenty more videos I'm working on, and if there's anything else that I missed out, feel free to let me know. I got more videos coming around. I got a Discord server to play Helldivers in, and I apologize, I have a little bit of repetition in my gameplay here in some of my videos, because I'm having issues with my recording software, and I'm very busy as well, so I don't have the time to sit down and right away and fix the problem as is. I think it has something to do because I enabled G-Sync on my monitor, and it's causing some issues. You don't need to know about all that. I'll worry about it later, but don't worry. I have plenty of videos coming out. We have a Discord server to hang out and play Helldivers. There's different fire teams I've set up, so there's all kinds of people to meet and hang out with. And I talk about videos. If you get any suggestions, either put it in the comments below, or reach out to me in the Discord server. If you like it, dislike it, and I've been talking about brain rot. See ya.